Thank you for coming to this About Straight Epistemology. This is going to be a show that's all very terribly meta. I have with me somebody, and then Travis Brown. Travis, you're the guy who's making that documentary. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself? We'll get to that other guy in a minute.
Yeah. Well, it's me and my dog here, Nora, and I'm laying on my back because I have very bad back pain, so it keeps me down. But other than that, I'm an independent filmmaker here in Portland, Oregon. So same city as Pete Boghossian, and we're good friends. And I really liked both of his books, but his second book, How to Have Impossible Conversations, was what inspired me to, or at least in part, what inspired me to make a film. And kind of base it around the book and have Pete help in the process.
Cool. So Pete's helping you make this film. Tell me the name again.
Yeah. So the film is called When in Doubt, and it's a documentary on improving conversations across divides, whether that's a religious divide or an political, ideological divide, and Pete has been kind enough to help connect me with certain people. Sorry, my dog is taking over my microphone. And as well as spend time coaching our documentary subjects. So we get them in the room with him, and then he helps them improve their conversation. So the hope is one, better understanding and humanizing the people that we disagree with, and two, to learn really practical skills, which is why it aligns so well with what you guys are doing and what Anthony does. So,
yeah, it seems very overlapping. And you just mentioned Anthony. So Anthony, please tell me who you are to this. If there's anybody who's on my channel who doesn't know Anthony Bagnabosco, I don't understand. But please,
hey, Dolly.
Let's go through the motions and introduce yourself.
Yeah, let's go. Anthony here. Had the pleasure of being asked to sit down for an interview, which ended up being in the film, as far as I understand. I've seen some clips with it. And yeah, I guess kind of fell into street epistemology back 7 or so years ago. Started going out and having talks with people, and then trying to develop it further in coordination with the community. And like Travis mentioned, Pete released a second book, which, did you say you liked the second book more, or it resonated with you more, Travis? Because it certainly did with me.
I think it has a broader application, and I think it's even more applicable, right, to more conversations than just faith. I think A Man for Creating Atheists is great for talking about faith, but it's a lot broader, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, How to Have Impossible Conversations, definitely much broader. And then I don't know how we actually met Travis, but we've been Facebook friends, and we've even met in person a while ago, even before the film. I can't remember exactly where or something like that, but
yeah, I think you.
Oh, I know. I met with Pete.
Think you came to give a talk, and I filmed it.
Yes, you did. This is an unknown fact. Pete and I actually sat down on stage and did a talk. I guess I gave a talk, and then he came up on stage, and we took questions from the audience. And then Travis filmed that, gave me all the footage, and I've never done anything with it. So that might be a fun.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that might be a fun interview to surface one of these days. But gosh, that must have been 3 or 4 years ago in Portland.
Right.
Should I roll clip?
Yeah. Should we watch a clip from the teaser? Yeah. Great.
A missed opportunity for dialogue is a missed opportunity for conflict resolution. And when two enemies are talking, they're not fighting. They're talking. It's when the conversation ceases that the ground becomes fertile for violence. So you want to keep the conversation going.
Our friendships are compromised and our relationships are compromised. And it's impossible to have a genuine, authentic relationship. So I wrote the book to empower people to have difficult conversations, to speak across divides, and to feel that there is a way forward. What concerns me is that we're not solving problems. We have extremely serious problems, plastic in the oceans, environmental problems, social problems, and if we're not talking to people on the other side of a political aisle, then it's impossible to solve those problems.
Where's demonizing anybody gotten us? You know, all we have to do is turn on our TV or look out in our streets.
You are the enemy of the people.
We need to come together because we have a shared history. It's important that we know each other's history. And when you get to know somebody, it's very hard to hate them. So it's time that we get to know one another.
Every time you have a conversation with someone, it's an opportunity for you to reflect on a belief you have and revise that belief and to stop believing things that are false, or at least calibrate your confidence downward so you be more humble about what it is that you think that you know. If you think you have the truth, you don't seek it, you don't want it, because why would you? You already have it.
Many of the impediments that are in the way to belief or vision are probably the result of our culture that makes it a stigma to question, to doubt, to change your mind. Maybe one day that will change. Good clip. Good clip.
Yeah, so we have our main man, Anthony.
There it
at
is.
the end.
GoFundMe.com. When
When in doubt, film.
When in doubt, film.
Yeah.
That's how we do the
Which is
thing.
the-
Can
yes.
you make me look a
Same
little
as the
skinnier in
website,
that
it's-
clip next time?
I'll get my CGI guys on it.
It's like, damn, I must have been a little heavy there. But no, it was fun. It was fun
it's the-
sitting
it's the
down
camera.
and I'll blame it on the camera for sure. But it was cool swinging by your studio and being interviewed for that. I'm a little curious how much
Yeah, I
of
really
the
enjoyed
footage
that.
you're going to use from the interviews, and how much will it be like Pete's coaching and all that stuff. Have you given some thought as to like how you're going to
there's a
break it
little-
out if you make it? Oh, did you not hear me?
I caught some of that. Do you mind repeating?
I think I was just asking how much of that is going to be interviews, like people like myself talking about it, and how much of it will be the Pete's coaching stuff. And I'm a little curious how you're planning to break it all out.
Oh. Yeah, it'll depend on how long the film is, but I do plan on getting a few more talking heads. You know, hopefully someone like Jonathan Haidt, and you know, a few other people, and so I'll sort of sprinkle those talking heads throughout the film. So you know, you, Pete, Daryl, of course, and a few other people will kind of guide us through the film and give us advice and help, you know, encourage people to engage in these conversations. And then the main thrust of the story will be 2 or 3 pairs of subjects, people who are struggling with a conversation, who already know each other, who are, you know, friends or family members, and they have a particular topic or a particular belief that they get stuck on. And then, you know, we have them kind of try the conversation and see how it goes. And then we have Pete coach them at least twice. I give them the book, they read the book, you know, I follow up with them, and then I'm hoping to do another conversation with some of the skills, and then a third and final conversation where Pete moderates each one. So it should be an interesting trajectory to follow, you know, probably 3 pairs of subjects. So, you know, it's hard to say how much time from everyone will be in there in terms of the talking heads, but it'll also depend on how long the film is. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's cool that you're eyeing other
But-
people to possibly bring in for contributions.
yeah, I actually just asked Pete to connect me with Tristan Harris, who's in the Social Dilemma.
Oh yeah. Do you know who
I've
Tristan
been
Harris
following
is,
him for
Deli?
a long time.
No, I don't.
he was one of the contributors. I don't know if he was a director or not, but he was definitely instrumental in that The Social Dilemma. It's been all the rage on Netflix, and it kind of warns about the bubbles that we might find ourselves in, because all this information is so customized now that you can have these completely different realities running around. And boy, it would be neat to see him on this film.
Yeah, I mean, in The Social Dilemma, he, along with several other people, lay out the problems that social media creates. But back when I first came across his work, he talked more about solutions. And so that's what I want him to do in this film. You know, as far as it relates to social media and just how we can get out of our bubbles. And I think it would couch nicely with all of the other talking heads. And yeah, so we'll see if that happens or not. But yeah, I really enjoyed interviewing Anthony for it, and you know, I love the line at the end, you know, the last line at the end of the teaser. It's just so perfect, and that's what I'm trying to do with the film. Is
That's the best part. That's the best part of my contribution
to view
right
doubt
there.
differently.
No, it was fun. I mean, you asked some good questions too, and then I think there was another fellow in the room asking questions. It was kind of an intimidating interview, I have to say, because there must have been. This was right at the start of COVID too, where like things were starting. Like, are they going to shut down the universities? I don't know what's going to happen here. And then, so I sat down in this room of. There must have been 7 to 10 people, a crew, running around, taking pictures, adjusting the audio. It was a little intimidating, I have to say, sitting there.
I bet, yeah. I don't like being in front of the camera myself, so.
Yeah.
But you did great.
Oh, thanks. And I thought the questions were good too.
At one point, I think it was 3 people asking questions. It was my producer Matt and then Evan also.
Yeah. The thing I like about your film is that it seems like it's offering solutions, whereas everyone's talking about the problems, but there's not a lot of people putting together like a plan of some sort to try to address this stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's always been really important.
So what do you need to finish the film?
Money.
What do I need? Yeah, funds and a few more connections. But thankfully, we've got quite a few good connections, and we're up to a little over $21,000 on our GoFundMe. We're aiming for 68 for the production of the film. That doesn't really include post-production, but as long as we can start filming something, which I think we can, even with 20,000, we'll be able to make more compelling content and hopefully encourage more people to contribute, so we can finish it.
Indeed. I've heard that there is a matching grant available until sometime tomorrow.
Yes.
I heard. So that's cool. There's some angel donor who's willing to match up to something like $10,000 worth. And that's why I was very motivated to get this out today and not wait till Monday. Going to catch that wind. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah.
So the way to do that is the GoFundMe.
It actually came.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that came about through one of the Street Epistemology Facebook groups. This guy Jeffrey Evans happened to come across the teaser or something, and then just reached out to me privately and was like, "Hey, I really want to make this film successful, and I want to encourage other people to contribute." And yeah, and apparently he lost his faith like a year and a half ago. So he was donating to Christian missionaries and that kind of thing, and then came across some of Anthony's work and I think Pete's book, and then as a
So
result,
you're getting
kind of
tithe
reflecting
dividend
on some of these questions. He, as far as I understood.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy.
Very, very
and
cool.
I'm really stoked about that.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody willing to do that. Yeah, I guess if anyone was ever on the fence about donating to the film, that's probably a good reason to do it. I've had some people reaching out to me via email. They say like, "How can I support your work?" And I usually, and I still do, I direct them to the nonprofit. But now I also say, by the way, there's this film in the works that's looking for some money, and I just direct them to that. But I'd love to see it get funded. I think that'd be awesome if it could be.
Yeah.
Do you think it could actually get
I
on
wanna see
Netflix
this.
or something?
Yeah.
Like, where do you think it could actually show up one of these days?
What was that, Anthony?
Where do you think it will show
I mean,
up?
Netflix is tough because they produce their own content now. It used to be like 3 or 4 years ago, it was easier to get on there as indie films, but now since they produce so much of their own content, it's much harder. It's not impossible, but I'm pretty convinced that we'll be able to make the film. Like I said, we have over 20,000, and we're going to start as soon as COVID dies down a little bit. We're going to start probably late winter with one pair of subjects, and have Pete coach them and go through the whole process, and then we may create another proof of concept, like a 10-minute short piece, to try to encourage more people to contribute. So I think even if we make it piecemeal, I think we'll be able to finish the film. And my first feature film, All Too Human, is going to be released on January 19th on a number of platforms. So I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to get this distributed and out there. So
Cool.
Nice.
yeah, it's exciting.
Good. Okay. Do either of you have anything else to tell me before I log us out?
I wanted to ask a little bit more about Pete's coaching stuff. Can you get into that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for me, Dolly? Or
Oh, there must be a wicked delay here.
I don't. I get what you're going for with the film. I want to see it happen. I want to watch this thing. I want to be all impatient, but I can be patient. I can be good.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Yeah, Anthony, you wanted to talk about Pete's coaching?
Well, that's probably the part of the movie that I'm most interested in seeing how that will play out,
We have
because
significant lag.
yeah, there's a little bit of a lag. Hopefully you can hear me, but I'll just spit it all out and then you can answer it. But I mean, I think there's so many factors at play here. So, like, for example, Pete might actually agree with one of the people that he's coaching or disagree. I wonder if that's going to be a factor, or maybe something that you'll cover, like the biases that that you can bring to a conversation. I'm a little curious to see how he's going to address that when he coaches these people.
So yeah, I
think I
really
only caught
myself
a little bit of-
motivated that.
Okay, I think
Go ahead,
Travis is
please.
having a hard time following us.
It seems like there's
Yeah,
there's a pretty
he's
significant
not
delay.
getting
I'm
the
only
question
catching
much.
little bits. Yeah, but I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability if you can hear me. Yeah, so Pete has coached a couple of our subjects already, and I know his personal opinions and where they align or don't align with the person he's speaking to. But he was able to be really objective and even find ways as he's coaching them to maybe agree with that person. So in our proof of concept that we made already, we did a 10-minute proof of concept, and the topic of discussion for our documentary subjects was, does systemic oppression exist, and if so, is violence against the state warranted? Now, I know Pete's opinion on this, and we had one person that was fairly far left. I don't know if we've lost connection or not, but I'll just keep going.
Yeah, I think you're good.
We had one person that. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I can hear you now. So, anyways, we had one person that agreed that systemic oppression did exist and that violence was warranted, and then the other person who didn't. And so it was really interesting to see Pete discuss the topic with both of them separately and try to relate and try to dig up reasons to agree, really, to some extent with both of them. So he did a really good job on being objective and really helping both of them try to understand the other person better and why they think the way they do. It's still largely focused on that epistemology, how did someone come to that conclusion? So there was a lot of that in the session.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah.
Says he has a oops, got stepped on. It has a bunch of unreleased footage of Pete having conversations from his book promo shoot and is happy to Dropbox it to you. Hells Bells asks, what can we do to help? And the answer is go to Dropbox. I'm sorry, go to GoFundMe, not Dropbox.
GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe, that's how to do the thing. Yes, he couldn't hear me. I was resetting. Okay, so that's what I have from the audience.
Yeah, or just share it around on social media, or email, etc.
I saw Daryl Davis did a tweet of the link to the film as well
help.
recently. So it was nice to see Daryl talking about it.
Good.
Yeah. Well, cool. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, Jolly, thank you.
Came
Thank you
through
for throwing this
despite the
together. I
lag.
really appreciate it as well.
Thank you. All right, so last call to action. If you go to GoFundMe.com, you see it there on the screen. So thank you very much for that. I also have another thing going on in my week. We have a survey that's currently out. You can see the link down in the description. And that survey is asking people in the SE community about suggestions and topics in a bottom-up kind of course development project that I'm part of. So, Infinite Desktop. That's not what I intended. All right, and then website. This is streetepistemology.com, my favorite place for all of the gathered stuff about street epistemology. Brought to you by Street Epistemology International, the same people who bring you the Street Epistemology podcast. For those of you who like your street epistemology stuck straight in your ear without all this faffing about with video. Here are 5 of my favorite YouTube channels that are specific to street epistemology. This is one of about 15 that are promoted on my YouTube channel. So, thank you for coming to this About SE. If you would like to be a guest on my show for anything regarding street epistemology, whether it's a demonstration or talking about it or meta or any news, that's a thing. So let me know. My calendar site is in the description and you can sign up there. Thank you. I look forward to hearing from you.